Shalawama, Shalawama, Islam to all the Moors. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Let me make sure the stream is okay. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 minute, please. Okay. All right, so we're gonna finish up Capricorn today. We'll finish up Capricorn. Let me make sure we're good. All right, yeah, we're good. We got sound. All right, so let's begin. Today is very short, just a couple paragraphs, so we'll finish. I'll close out and I'll probably come back and do another one, either natural law or I'll do Aquarius. All right, so just let me see how I feel. Okay. By the way, y'all, for all of you in the House of Yasharala, all Moors, I don't know if you guys know about Consul General Lamont Maurice L. He's still in captivity. So y'all support him with trying to get him released, okay? Put it on, if you have a platform, talk about it on your platform. Go to their website, enforcetheconstitution.com. Y'all start talking about it, all right? Start talking about it and I'll do the same. Anyway, so let's begin, y'all, let's begin. So again, this is the Gospel and the Zodiac. All right, the secret truth about JC, the Christ figure, the PDF, it's a free PDF. The link is in the description area of the video. All right. So let's begin. This is page 87. So we only have a few paragraphs to go before we finish this. All right. Literally, only a few. Most religions confuse the finger pointing at the moon with the moon itself. Y'all got that? They confuse the finger pointing at the moon with the moon itself, keeping their followers in the darkness of spiritual slavery. Keeping their followers in the darkness of spiritual slavery, how? They're deceiving you. Okay? They're pointing at the moon, but not talking about the moon. They keep you focused on their finger. Let me read it again for emphasis. Most religions confuse finger pointing at the moon with the moon itself. You point at the moon with your finger, it has absolutely nothing to do with the moon itself. Y'all get it? But they keep you focused on their finger pointing at the moon. And you don't realize that it has nothing to do with the tangible moon itself, okay? Most religions confuse the finger pointing at the moon with the moon itself, keeping their adherents, their followers, in the darkness of spiritual slavery. So now where is the darkness? The darkness is always in astrology, astrotheology. The darkness begins when the sun reaches its highest point in the sky, the zenith. This is during, I think it's June 23rd, y'all. All right, the sun is called the Lion of Judah at that time because it's the hottest, or it's the highest and the hottest in the northern sky or the northern part of space. It cannot go higher up. There's nowhere else to go but down or to descend. Okay, and as the sun descends, the number of dark hours or nighttime begins to become longer and longer as the sun descends to the southern sky. Right? Now the sun will eventually go into autumn. It'll cross the equator, the celestial equator, which is nothing but a reflection outward of the Earth's equator. All right, so it'll cross below the celestial equator. In autumn, this is Christ crucified. This is JC being crucified, right? The sun crossing, crucified, crossing below the equator, okay? Now the sun continues to descend. Now in autumn, you'll note that in autumn or the fall, this is why they call it the fall actually, because the sun is falling. It's falling toward autumn. Autumn is now the fall. The sun continues to fall below the celestial equator, and it'll continue falling all the way until when? It reaches its lowest point in the southern part of space. This is Capricorn. This is the time where darkness or nighttime lasts the longest. Out of all the days of the year, the longest nights are December 22nd, 23rd, and thereabout, right? What happens from December 23rd, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th? What happens? Well, the sun stops moving. We went through that, right? This is Christ dead. But my point is, in the dark, there's crime, there's evil, there's wickedness, right? Take the word dark, borrow the D, add it to the word evil, and you get devil. You get devil. Christ at the zenith, somewhere around June 23rd, sun is at its highest point, somewhere around December 22nd, 23rd, in the southern part of space, the sun is at its absolute lowest place. It's in the bottomless pit, right? So now draw a straight line. Draw a straight line from one end to the other. So at this top northernmost point, this is Christ. City consciousness, Christ, okay, higher self. JC, the Christ figure. At the lowest point, December 22nd, 23rd, this is, take that same D, add it to evil, this is the devil. Satan, the opposer, opposite ends of the same line, y'all get it? Opposite ends of the same line. They keep you in darkness through connotative linguistics. They keep you in darkness through connotative linguistics. And as Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 8 says, they keep you in religion, okay? They keep you in religion. You are detached from nature. Completely detached from nature. Almost all of the world, especially in the US, Canada, in the Western countries, especially. So let's go back. Most religions confuse finger pointing at the moon. Now, can't you see how that relates to connotative linguistics? Okay, connotative linguistics and denotative linguistics, y'all see it? Connotative is what you think it means and what they told you it means, right? Denotative is what it actually means. So you're out of harmony with nature through your language to begin with, okay? And then secondly, you're focused on abstract concepts rather than concrete natural things. You're focused on the finger pointing and not the moon itself. Most religions confuse finger pointing at the moon with the moon itself, keeping their followers in the darkness. They got you in December, they got you in Capricorn. That's the point. They have you in Capricorn. Let's continue. They have you in Capricorn. They keep their followers, their adherents, in the darkness of spiritual slavery. Why are you in spiritual slavery? Deuteronomy chapter 28 tells you. The commandments tell you. follow, or honor, respect your foremothers and forefathers. You get this from Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. All right? And we are not doing it as a people all over the world. I'm not talking about in the States and the UK. I'm talking about all of us, all over the world. Why aren't we? Because we are detached from nature. As I've said many times, the Most High's instructions are at their essence natural law. So what jurisdiction is this? As I mentioned, I think in yesterday's video, you see it all throughout the Constitution, all throughout the Declaration of Independence. This is nature's God, nature's law, and nature's God. Okay, that concept to begin with. Y'all follow me? You find people like Dr. Sebi, who cured many, many people. How did he do it? He took them back to nature in their eating and in their habits. Y'all see it? They began to vibrate and resonate with nature, and then their lost health came back to them. You see it? But right now, we are detached from nature, not only in our actions, but in our words. So when you are detached from nature in your words, forget about the deeds right now. In your words, when you're speaking connotative linguistics, when you deny that you're Genesis chapter 2, you deny that you are a Moor. In effect, you're denying that you are the rightful heir to all land and resources on this earth. You deny it. Therefore, you are dishonoring your ancient mothers and fathers. Exodus 10:12. That's to begin with. That's just to begin with at the most fundamental level. No different than you denying who your mother or father is right now. Right? Someone says, "Oh, is that your mother?" Or, you know, your father left you this and or is that? And you say, "No, I don't know him. That's not my mother. She didn't leave me that." You see how disrespectful that is? It's dishonorable, okay? But anyway, so can y'all see how that stains the blood of the covenant? Can y'all see that? How such dishonor stains the blood or corrupts the blood of the covenant that sealed the contract between our people and the Most High? To deny who you are, your nationality, to live a dishonorable life, to speak dishonorably through connotative linguistics. It's a corruption of the blood of the contract. We are to follow natural law in our lives, harmonize our lives with natural law. This is what following the Most High's instructions means. Let's continue. Capricorn, the time of maximum darkness. Now, I just went over that, December 22nd, 23rd. All right, the deepest part of winter. The sun is at its lowest point. The nighttime hours are at their peak. The sun, so to speak, has been conquered by the darkness. Satan has conquered Christ. Y'all see that? Set has conquered Horus. Okay, the sun sets, right? Horus is the sun being reborn, the resurrected sun, S-O-N-S-U-N, JC, the Christ figure. And then Set is the sun setting, right? It's getting dark. So Set conquers the Christ figure. But remember, JC, the Christ figure, and the devil are the same. There are 2 points. They're the 2 extreme points on the same line, right? June 23rd is the Christ. Draw the line straight down to December 22nd, 23rd. That's the devil. JC and the devil are the same. Okay, this is where it comes from. JC's born December 25th. That's Capricorn. Capricorn has some very ugly qualities, as we went over. All right. But anyway, let's not labor that. Y'all go back and watch number 6 if you want to hear more about that. Capricorn, the time of maximum darkness, maximum evil. People do crime in the dark. They rob, steal, and kill in the dark. People freeze to death in the darkness of winter in North America, don't they? Or any other place that gets freezing cold. People will freeze to death at night, or you might get eaten by an animal at night, right? In the dead of winter, because you can't see. You're basically defenseless. This is what the author is trying to get you to see without saying it. All right, but I know it because I know the topic. Capricorn, the time of maximum darkness, represents the power of the organization, represents the power of the corporation, represents the power of the corporation, the corporate person, the Catholic Church, and all of its affiliates. Let me read that again so y'all get it. Capricorn represents the power of the organization, the power of the Catholic Church, the power of corporate nation states. Look at the effect of the 14th Amendment on you, your family, your community, and your nation. And now, the troglodyte hybrid niggers who are 14th Amendment citizens. Look how it has ravaged people. Look how it's used as a weapon. Capricorn represents the power of the organization and the system over the individual. And the system. All right, now we Moors, we know all about the system, don't we? Whether you know you're a Moor or not, whether you think you're Black, African American, or Negro, or whatever brand, Latino, whatever brand you go by, you know about that system. Especially if you've been jammed up in it, or I'm sure you know people who've been jammed up in it, right? I'm sure you know. You know what that system is. The system, the corporation over the man. The man becomes a piece of stock, chattel, cattle, human resource, and a liability. All right, and a liability. And why do I say a liability? Well, you should already know by right now that they want to limit the lifespan of people, right? They want to limit that. And through food, drinks, drugs, they want to control the birth rate and the lifespan of everyone across the world. Why? Because if you hang around too long, you get to become wise. You can figure out what's happening. Okay, but if you only live a short lifespan, there's no way you're going to accumulate enough knowledge and convert that to wisdom where you can do anything about it, right? You're only good enough, you only live long enough for you to work your best years, and then they get rid of you. That's what's happening. So in other words, you're nothing but chattel on the farm, waiting for your turn to go to slaughter after you do the work. All right. All right. So Capricorn represents the power of the organization and the system over the individual. But as all the mystical traditions remind us, Capricorn is also the southern gate of the sun, the southern gate of the sun, sun. Now, I just talked about that, right? December 22nd, December 23rd. It's the lowest point. That's the southern gate. Capricorn is the southern gate of the sun through which human souls ascend to heaven. Now, heaven is not what you think it is. It's not the heaven pearly gates. All right. And the soul is not what you think it is. The soul is a Catholic concept. My understanding is this. The Catholics put a U inside of the Latin word soul, S-O-L, which means the sun, the disk in the sky, the orb in the sky. Y'all know what I'm talking about? It's S-O-L. They threw a U in there and call it a soul. Now, the disk in the sky or the orb in the sky that gives its heat. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Give me a second, y'all. I got my cafe. I take my cafe black. Thank you. I take my cafe black. No milk, no sugar. No cream, no sugar. You know, Vietnam has the best coffee. They grow it locally. Let me see if I can show y'all. They grow it locally and they take it with ice. Very rarely do they take it hot because of course it's hot here, right? So this is locally grown coffee. They call it cafe if it's just black. With milk, they call it cafe sua. But I don't take it that way. Milk and sugar, cafe sua. Me, I just like it black. And then this is how they serve it when you take it carry out. Can y'all see that? That's pretty cool. Okay, let's go back to it. All right. So that disc in the sky that's yellow, right? Some shades of yellow, that orb, S-O-L in Latin. Catholic Church wanted to gain control over your mind, hijack your mind, to control your behavior more effectively. So this is what they did. They said, okay, the sun in the sky provides heat and energy, causes growth or facilitates or is involved in the growth that occurs in spring, right? And it's absent causes the death that occurs in fall and winter. So that heat generating source in our body that causes growth, that gives us enlightenment, just as the sun, when it shines, we become enlightened. Why? Because we can see. If we can see, we can observe with our eyes. So that energy, that power inside of us that allows us to animate, they call it a soul. It's the sun with a S-O. They stuck that U in there. Always be careful of vowels. S-O-U-L. And they told you that you have a soul that survives death. And we believed it. We believed it. And then they said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Not so fast. That soul survives death. But if you don't do everything we tell you, you're going to burn in hell. Eternity, burn in hell. But our people were so ignorant or fearful. Let me rephrase that. Our people were so fearful and desperate or destitute that the mothers taught that to their babies. That's the only way any person in their right mind would believe that. You'd have to be told that from birth. You'd have to be told that concept from birth in order to accept it and believe it, because it's nonsense. Why do I say it's nonsense? Because fire is physical. Fire is concrete. If you go somewhere where it's spiritual, how can you have fire burning? Spiritual and physical are separate. Fire is in the physical world. Think about it. So how are you going to burn in fire if there's no fire in the spiritual world? So it was very effective. So then they said, you're going to burn in hell for eternity. But of course, God needs money, right? So you can always pay your way out. Okay? If you pay your way out, you can go out, murder, rape, steal, do any crime you want. Okay? But you can pay your way out. We can get you in purgatory, or we can get you out of purgatory, or whatever the Catholic doctrine is. I don't even remember anymore, this foolishness. From what I understand, I was told that there are some Hebrew Israelite groups who actually still believe the book, I believe it's called Dante's Inferno or something like that. How can fire burn in a spiritual place? Fire is physical. How can your flesh burn when you don't have no flesh in the spiritual place? Y'all see it? But it's through fear and intimidation. Here's an intimidation tactic. I was going through the internet today and I came across this verse. I don't remember the verse. No, I was going through Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Someone posted a verse that said, unless you believe in me, you'll burn in hell, or something like that. It was the Christ figure saying this. Unless you believe, you're going to burn. Or depending on what your doctrine is, unless you believe, you're going to die and that's it for you. There's no hope for you. Unless you believe. That's bullying. I need to believe you. You need to threaten me with eternal torture. You need to threaten me with terror. Look at it that way. You need to threaten me through terrorism. Torture is terrorism. Now you can say, oh, it's not torture and terrorism because it's JC or the Most High doing it, right? Well, let's say if it's not JC or the Most High doing it. Let's say if it's your next door neighbor, got somebody in the house and he's burning it, or he just murders him. Now what? So it's okay because the deity says it, right? So if I don't accept your doctrine coming out of the Catholic Church or some Hebrew Israelite camp, assembly, or church, or Christian church, if I don't accept it, I'm going to burn in hell. All right, so you know what people did? They gave the Catholic Church huge amounts of money for years and years and years. And then you know what happened? Catholic Church said, wow, you know what? This doesn't look good because people are starting to get hip to what we're doing. So they hired a family to manage their money. My understanding is that this is where the modern banking system had its beginning. All right. By the way, y'all don't forget about our brother, Consul General Lamont Maurice L. Go to enforcetheconstitution.com, go to their website, get the email address, and send them an email and ask them what can you do, even if it's only donating some money, not money, even if it's only donating some fiat or sending them some fiat. I wish I had their Cash App. I don't have it. But y'all go there and do that so that they can keep on trying to get Consul General Lamont Maurice L. and others of our nationals out, okay? Because they're locked up. And I believe they're in solitary confinement now. I don't know the details, y'all, but y'all do that, okay? Y'all do that. It's time to stand up. Time to stand up, okay? Whatever they ask you to do, please do it. Time to stand up, all right? Stop letting people push you around and don't be scared to call or to do whatever they tell you, or not tell you to do, but request that might be helpful. But at minimum, send fiat, okay? Send fiat. I'm not in any way associated with them, y'all. So I'm not working with them or for them, okay? I don't have anything, I don't benefit. So I'm not here asking you to help because I benefit, because I don't. All right, I don't benefit. All right, let's continue. So in other words, my point is that you do not have a soul that survives death. You don't have a soul that survives death. So what happens? That's the good question, right? What happens at death? That's a very good question. And with your study and attention, you can find out. All right, it just takes effort, time, and attention, and you can find out. So my point is, don't let people bully you. Don't be bullied by these. By the way, I just thought of something. These organizations that are organized as a 503c(b), I don't remember what they are, but y'all know what I'm talking about. These non-profit organizations, these religious institutions, they're corporations. Y'all got that? They're corporations. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Capricorn corporations, okay? But as all mystical traditions remind us, as all mystical traditions, these are religions, remind us, Capricorn is also the southern gate of the sun. So all of these religions are astro-theological in nature. You'll find astro-theology across all of them. All of them. I'm talking about the ones in the West, not the Far East, okay? Not the Far East. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let me continue. All right. So Capricorn Capricorn is the southern gate of the SUN sun, also the SON sun, because it's all the same, right? Also what? The SOL, because that's also the sun, through which human souls ascend to heaven. Now, what's being spoken here that you don't see? Through which human souls ascend to heaven. Now, What is a human? Human. What's the relationship between the deity Han-Uman and a human? Han-Uman. I don't know if I showed this. I don't know if I want to show this in this. I don't know if I want to show this in this. Well, let me show y'all. Let me show you. Never say you are a human. Check a good law dictionary and you'll see that a human is, in fact, a monster. What is that monster? I'm going to show you what that monster is. Give me 1 second. Let me Google this, y'all. I want y'all to see this. I'm not going to go into great detail. Y'all go through my video library, okay? I don't know if it's a live stream or a video. I did a video. You'll see Neanderthal. You'll see a Neanderthal on a stake or on a cross. Watch that. I don't remember the title. You'll see another one with the chimpanzee and an orangutan. You watch that. All right. That's going to tell you what Semite means. What Semite means. You are not a Semite. You're not. Watch the video and you'll find out why. All right. You guys just don't know. Let me find this for y'all. You have no idea. You have no idea. Give me 1 minute. Semite. Semite. Goes back to monster. Goes back to monster. All right? Neanderthal. Let me find this image for y'all, okay? All right. So tell me what you see here. Y'all tell me what you see. Tell me what you see. Can y'all see that? What is that? This is Han-Uman. Remove the A-N and what do you get? Human. This is half man, half monkey deity. Revered in Hindustan, in India. Okay, let me show you more. You're not, this is half man, half monkey. Is this who you are? Can y'all see that? I hope y'all are able to see this. Hold on. All right. When you say you're a human, you're associating yourself with this deity. Now, a human is a monster. A monster that cannot inherit land, although born from a womb of a woman, cannot inherit land. This takes you back to Genesis chapter 1. Let us create man in our image. Okay. Multiple deities. Creation of the Neanderthal, who is the progenitor of the hybrid troglodyte niggers and other hybrids who may not be pale skin. They may have dark skin. All right. This is a long story. I've posted videos, many. Y'all can find that on your own on my YouTube channel. Let me show you more. See, you are not a human. Note the tail. A human cannot inherit land. although born from a woman. Although born from a woman, a human is a monster who cannot inherit land. Therefore, this is not, a human is not Genesis chapter 2. Land and moors are synonyms. Land and gold and silver and any other precious metal, precious stone, anything that comes from the land is the substance and subject matter of the law. Moors are the rightful heirs to all land, energies, and resources on this earth plane. The human is not. So you have to be a complete fool. You have to be a complete fool if you are a Moor, regardless of what house you come from. By house, I mean family. All right? Genesis chapter 10, etc., and Jubilees, where you can see the land grants. I hope y'all can see these. I don't know if y'all can see it. Let me show you the Neanderthal. Here's another good one. Note the tail. You'll note that the hybrid troglodyte nigger is often born with the tail. You'll note the chimpanzee, of the blackest one, the darkest one, its aggressive nature. All right, you'll note that in the hybrid's history. You'll note it, you'll see it in their history. All right, now when I lived in India, I was invited by the lady. I used to buy my sugarcane juice. I used to buy sugarcane juice from this lady. She invited me to go to the temple to pray to this monkey, to the monkey gods, okay? Now, of course, I said no. And she was highly offended. But she was even more offended when I told her that I don't follow any religion. She couldn't understand that. Who do I pray to? This was the question she's asking me. And very unfortunate. Now, she was deep chocolate, beautiful chocolate complexion, beautiful, straight, silky hair. But her mind was totally warped with religion. All right. So y'all check this out. Hanuman, remove the A-N and you get human. All right. Now there's a Indian brother here who I spoke with the other day. I'm gonna follow up with him and I'm gonna get the backstory with this, and hopefully he'll agree to do a video with me. All right. I don't know if he will, but I'm gonna ask him. So those of you who are Zion Law School scholars, you're already familiar with this information about Neanderthal, etc. But for those of you who are not, I hope that this adds to your knowledge base. So here we see the Neanderthal. Okay, so Hanuman, the Neanderthal. All right, y'all see these not deities, but do you see these Neanderthal? Okay, relate this to Genesis chapter 1. Okay, so this is why a lot of them say that they have angelic blood. They're talking about Genesis chapter 1, the Neanderthal. All right, the Neanderthal. Genesis chapter 1, and the Bible verse where the sons of God had sexual relations with women. Okay, and these were genetically engineered. Now, were the Elohim divine deities in Genesis chapter 1, or were they just brilliant scientists? Were they just Moors who were brilliant scientists who had went, lower self behavior by creating these monsters? We'll never know, right? We will never know. We will never know. So as they refine the genetic engineering experiment, we see what we see here. Now, of course, as we discussed in my classes even years ago, Esau and other nations, I can't see a man having physical sex with one of these. Okay, I cannot see that. To me, that's almost an impossibility. So from my point of view, maybe I'm wrong, right? But from my point of view, it was nothing but laboratory work. Okay, I cannot imagine a man having sex with something that looks like this. All right, with a female who looks like that. Okay, and as Dr. What's her name? Frances Cress Welsing used to say, she said, if you put a gun to a man's head, if a woman puts a gun to a man's head and tells him he better have sex with him or else, he ain't gonna be able to get it up. So, I mean, it had to be in the laboratory, right? The mixing. Now, I think it's in the book of Japheth. It says that Esau took these Horites or Neanderthals as wives. So, I don't know. I'll let y'all decide that. All right. But anyway, so we are not human. We don't have SOUL souls. This is all the stuff of religion to keep you occupied and to keep you afraid, terrorized, and bullied into doing what the Catholic Corporation wants you to do through any of their religious affiliations, regardless of if it's Christianity, some other religion, or some other denomination. All right, let's continue. All right. Capricorn is also the southern gate of the sun, sun, through which human souls, we know that the human, the Han Uman, the Neanderthal, the hybrid troglodyte nigger, we know. Even if there was an SOUL, they wouldn't have it, right? They would not have it. Why? Because they're not supposed to be here. They're not supposed to be here. So let's continue with this religious thought that we're reading about, through which the human souls ascend to heaven. All right. So in other words, what they're saying astrotheologically is this. At December 25th, the sun has been dead for 3 days. Now, all of a sudden, it moves 1 degree on the sundial. There are 365 degrees, right? In the year, 365 days, 365 degrees on the sundial. It didn't move for 3 days. No movement for 3 days. Therefore, the sun is dead. All right. December 24th, going into the 25th, 12 o'clock midnight, all of a sudden the sundial moves 1 degree. Now the sun has been resurrected. It's at its lowest point in the southern part of space. There's only one way to go, which is what? Up. It ascends upward. It springs up. It ascends up into where? Heaven. What's heaven? This is the abode. In my Father's house, there are many. No, in my Father's abode, there are many mansions. Space. In my Father's abode, in space, there are many constitutions, right? A constellation is a mansion, a house. In my Father's abode in space, there are many mansions. There are many constellations. Now, the sun from December 25th is ascending into heaven. As simple as that, y'all. As simple as that. Because it is at this time of the winter solstice, December 22nd, 23rd, that the light of Christ's consciousness, December 22nd, 23rd, this is the winter solstice. January 23rd, somewhere around about there, is the summer solstice. Draw a straight line from the summer solstice to the winter solstice, you get the Christ who becomes the devil, right? Why? Because they're at opposite ends of the line. Opposite means opposer, therefore the devil is the opposer of Christ. They're on opposite ends of the line. Christ, everything good, higher self. Spiritual enlightenment. Now, spiritual enlightenment can only mean to me the perfection of the art of breathing. This is life, right? Breathing, breath. Okay, y'all think about that. Intellectual enlightenment, observing nature. This is where you learn, you become a scientist. You begin to look at the concrete world, study it, develop your mind, realize that you are one with everything else. The natural law has effect, do no harm. That's all you got to remember. Okay? That's it. Whereas, again, with the devil or winter solstice, that's the lower self. Everything mean, vicious, and ugly, Capricorn. Corporations. You want to be a corporation. So what's happening in the dark? This is where you get beat up in life. Or you're beating other people up in life or trying to beat other people in life. You experience hardship. You experience hardship. And what happens? What does pressure produce? Y'all remember that old saying? Pressure produces what? Diamonds. It is through your trials, your tribulations, your anxiety, your failure, your stress, that what? What happens? It's when nobody will help you. You begin to realize that your mother won't help you, your father won't help you. Nobody in your family will help you, or maybe they even want to see you suffer. Maybe they want to see you uncomfortable on the street, nothing to eat. All right? Maybe this is common amongst our people. And now all of a sudden, you begin to realize that you have a few choices. You can lay down and die. You can give up, right? Or you can say, wait a minute, this deity ain't working for me. Or you can say, this is the funny part. Or you can say, well, I got to take the good and the bad. So the deity give it and the deity take it away, right? And you just give in. All right, and you just wallow in it. Some people might experience early onset schizophrenia. I know a guy who experienced that when he was about 20, 23, due to the pressures involved with religion. Or you can do what? Or you can come to the realization and say, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. And I'm gonna do it, right? You begin to realize that anything good that's gonna happen, you have to do it. I have to do it. And then you turn around and you give the credit to JC, the Christ figure, or you give the credit to your deity. It's crazy. But the enlightened woman, the enlightened man sees that his salvation, his teacher is within himself. It is he or her. He or her. Christ has begun to ascend. You've ascended. You're moving upward. You are enlightened. You let go of these external deities. Get out of the churches, the mosques, the corporations, and you begin to listen to the lectures of your ancient foremothers and forefathers, the lectures. Exodus chapter 20, verse 12, the law, the instructions given to you by your ancient foremothers and forefathers, which you must honor, and which we entered into a contract with the Most High to follow his instructions, which are natural law, the essence of which is to do no harm. That means, let me go back. Being in Asia, here's the most profound thing that I have seen. The many countries that I've been to in Asia, they don't want to displease their parents. They can be 50 years old and they're concerned about pleasing their parents, not doing something to disrespect or dishonor their parents. Even the career, their degree, their boyfriend, their lifestyle. I've met people who've cried. I'm a total stranger. I'm a total stranger to these people. And talking about their situation and what they're trying to do because their parents want them to, they actually cry because they're afraid that if they don't do it, their parents will be upset with them. Can you imagine that? Think about that. So what are the lectures? The lectures are generational learning, generational instruction, information passed from one generation to the other generation to the other generation. See, if that is broken, imagine that. Imagine you take a baby away from his family. That means he's extracted from his culture. And all of the learning that has taken place, you put him in a forest to fend for himself. What is he gonna know if he survives? Nothing, right? He's a sitting duck. Well, it's the same thing with us. We do not have the lectures, which are the laws that should have been passed down from one generation to the other. No, why? Why? Because y'all watch TV. You're in religion. So you don't value what your mother or your father or your auntie or your uncle has to say. And you're not passing it down. All right? You pass it down. I know I didn't get it in my family situation, which was horrible. All right, and I'm sure for much of you all, you also grew up in a horrible family structure, toxic. No instructions passed from one generation to the other. We should have gotten what? The most fundamental level, we should have gotten what? We should have gotten the instructions concerning the Most High's laws or commandments, as they say in religion, right? But we didn't get them, right? That was broken, part of the curses. Part of the curses. We were detached from our heritage. Y'all see what I'm trying to say here? Okay. It's profound. If y'all could be here to see it. The instructions of your ancestors are powerful, and you see it in Asia. You see it in Asia. You see it in Asia, but it is almost non-existent in North America. Also, I think probably the same way in all of these Western countries. Okay, it's intentional. Why? Because it's corruption of the blood, right? Corruption of the blood leads to, remember y'all, escheat, forfeiture of your estate. All right, forfeiture of your estate. You become, what is the word? Can't remember the word. It's the root of attorney. Bills of attainder. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I wanted. All right. You get hit with bills of attainder for corruption of the blood. All right. Bills of attainder for corruption of the blood, not only in your language, jurisdiction, but also in your actions. Okay. You corrupted the blood that seals the covenant. Therefore, you get curses. Let's continue. Therefore, you get curses. And the curses will chase you and overtake you. Until what? Until you harmonize yourself with nature, which is returning to the Most High. Deuteronomy 30. Let's continue. All right. So Capricorn is also the southern gate of the sun through which human souls ascend to heaven, because it is at this time of winter solstice that the light of Christ consciousness, the realization that the teacher is within, is born. In other words, like I just said, when you have problems and there's nobody there to help you, that's when you realize that the power is actually you. This is Christ consciousness. You are the teacher. You are the Christ, right? There you go. All right. Capricorn, Capricornian Khalil Gibran, born on the 6th of January in 1883, has expressed this autonomy, of the human soul in this celebrated passage from his book, The Prophet. Now I'm going to read that. Now, I just got a thought. Human soul. So Christianity is for, now y'all tell me what y'all think about this. The remix of astrology into astrotheology is for the human. We'll repeat that. The remix of astrology or astronomy, cosmology, the science, the remix of it is for the human, the half man, half monkey, who has been genetically engineered into the hybrid troglodyte nigger that we see today, who classifies as itself as white people. It pretends to give this entity a soul that lives on after death. Why? So that he can have hope, and so that he can have what? Something to modify, curb his animalistic nature. I don't know why I never thought about that until now. I don't know why. This just came to me now. Christianity is for the hybrid troglodyte nigger to curb his animalistic behavior, okay, to control him. That being the case, our ancestors gave it, and then they put it on us. I just came to this realization, y'all. They flipped the script and put it on us. Now they're using Christianity to control you. Now, this is my opinion, but it makes perfect sense. So I'm gonna run with it. So here's the quote from Capricornian Khalil Gibran. The quote reads, "And the woman who held a babe against her bosom said, 'Speak to us of children.' And he said, quote, 'Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself.'" Y'all got that? Your children are not your children. "They come through you. Your child or children come through your womb, but they are not from you. They come through your womb, but they are not from you." So this is speaking of the womb as being what? A portal. "You may give your children your love, but not your thoughts." In other words, give your children love, but don't make them think the way you think. Now, what do y'all think about that? Don't make your children think the way you think. Well, it depends, right? I would say this, not that my opinion is important. I would say this: raise children in such a way where they understand that they are a unique, divine man, a rightful heir, or womb man, a rightful heir of all energies and resources and land on the earth, physical land. They're the rightful heir. And that the human is not and has no ability to inherit land. Make sure they know that. That's step one. And then secondly, respect them as people. Don't run over them, bully them, kill their will, kill their spirit, like many of you mothers have done to your male child or your male seed. Broke his will. Not that you're something bad, but this is the way they designed it. Same way you break a horse, right? Break the mother, and then the mother will train its babies to behave like she does, okay? It's just the way it happened, y'all. That's just the reality of it. So if you're a mother, you should be very conscious about changing the way you raise your children. Make sure you didn't do it the way you were raised, right? Maybe you're not even aware that you come from a toxic family. right? But most of us do. Okay. It's the way it is. But anyway, that's a personal choice. I'm getting too far into that. It ain't, it's not for me to tell y'all what to do. All right. So let's continue. So you raise that seed to be an independent thinker, to be curious. To be curious. Don't break the will and the curiosity of your seed. That seed is not yours, although it came through you. That means let the seed have a relationship with its father, no matter how much you hate him or do not respect him. It is not yours. This is according to the book, okay? But it's also my personal opinion anyway. You may give your seed, your love, but not your thoughts. That means if you hate his father, don't make the child intentionally or unintentionally hate his father. I'll tell y'all something that's profound. Here in Asia, do y'all know that the father is almost worshiped? Not worshiped, but held at very high esteem. Very high esteem, regardless of his bad ways or bad character. Okay? They don't make excuses about it. The father is held in extremely high esteem. For they have their own thoughts. Your seed, your babies have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls. Y'all got that? You put them in a house, you house their body, but not their mind. You shouldn't put a border or limitations on them because they were put on you. You can't do that, that kind of thing. Don't do that. For their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, for which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like your seed, but seek not to make your seed like you. For life goes not backward, right? Life doesn't go backwards, so don't make your seed like you. That's what the author is saying. Nor does life tarry with yesterday. Y'all see that? You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. Parents, you are the bows and your children are the arrows. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you. The archer bends you. The parent, you are the bow. And the archer bends you, the parent, with his might, that his arrows, your seed, may go swift and far, so that they may go smoothly and far in life without you messing their head up or taking them away from their father, or fathers hitting or molesting your seed. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as the archer loves the arrow that flies, the archer loves also the bow, which is you, that is stable. Anyway, I'm ending on that. Y'all remember Consul General Lamont Maurice L. Go to the website, enforcetheconstitution.org. Reach out to them by email or whatever means they have on the website. Reach out and whatever they need you to do, do it. If the minimum you can do is send fiat, send the fiat. I don't have any benefit of calling on you guys to do this, scholars, other than I would like to see our brother Lamont Maurice L. and the other nationals that we have who are in the prisoner of war camp be released, okay, because they are there unlawfully. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School, Dr. Yasapa all from Zion Law School. If you want to support my work, the links are in the description area of this video. If you want to support the translation of the book of the law into Ibaryath and a honest, accurate rendering of each word in English so that you can see what the documents really say, then y'all can send fiat to support the project. All right, support the project. It's a long-term, big project. Islam to all the Moors.